Do you know I watched Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair?
Okay.
Do you know who was originally supposed to play the bride? Paul Dano. Hello, I'm Sam,
And I'm Ian.
and we welcome you back to the latest episode of One Credit After Another, a show where we dive into the career of a filmmaker or actor and their latest project. It's the King of the World! James Cameron is taking us back to Pandora with Avatar, Fire and Ash, the third film in the Avatar series and Cameron's 10th film. We are including Piranha 2. Fire and Ash has a worldwide release on the 19th of December and is expected to be a box office sensation. Ian, what is the appeal of the Avatar films and where do you rank the series in James Cameron's filmography?
Very broad appeal, I'm going to say. Pretty low down.
And why is that? And why does a grand majority of the public share this sentiment towards the Avatar films?
Because it is a very simple story told well, but I am not a fan of it. So it would rank quite low down.
Low down?
Yeah. I prefer all his other stuff. I like Terminator. I like Aliens. I like Titanic.
Yeah, I do feel like with the Avatar films, it's more miss than hit with people, and it's quite interesting, which I'm sure we'll talk about further in the box office records that these films have set.
It just sets just record after record after record to the point where it gets overtaken, gets re-released, and then still manages to top itself.
Yeah.
It's insane how much money this makes. But that's where I say it has a real broad appeal, because to make that much money, you have to appeal to everywhere in the world, every territory. And I think because of its simple storytelling and its simple premise, it can appeal to that wider audience. For me personally, it was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything too amazing about it. I tell you what, the most amazing part about the film for me is the 3D. The 3D is spectacular in Avatar.
Well, I am not a fan of 3D.
No, I hate 3D.
3D
in every
gives
way,
me-
shape, or form. Hate it.
Yeah, I was literally...
Avatar was amazing.
Me and my brother were discussing watching Avatar Fire and Ash, and the moment the IMAX was just doing 3D, we were like, we'll just watch this on a normal screen.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Because it just gives me a headache. And this film is 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
What?
It's a big one. I think this might be the longest Avatar film. And James, I don't know, is it longer than Titanic? I think it even might be longer than Titanic.
So how many Avatar movies has there been?
This is the third film
Okay.
since 2009's Avatar.
Did you hear this thing where it was like Disney aren't sure whether or not they're going to make any more, or James Cameron's not sure if Disney's going to greenlight the rest of them?
So
James Cameron has gone, I'm just going to make a comic if I can't make the others.
well, there's a lot of uncertainty about Avatar 4.
And 5 and 7 and 22.
Well, I think there's definitely going to be more made. Whether they're going to be made by James Cameron is the tricky point, because all these films make so much money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tricky because James Cameron, when he makes his films, he says these films need to make billions to break even.
That's mad, isn't it?
So The Way of Water, which was the previous film to this, I think that made like $2.3 billion, but James Cameron was like, yeah, it did well. It did okay.
I don't understand how, if you cross the 2 billion barrier, surely it's just a success.
Well, because there's so much marketing in these films. You know, when you're talking about like the grand appeal to like to the world.
You can't tell me though that these studios aren't spending $1 billion on a film and marketing.
No, it's usually double
Right.
the budget, but we never really know. It's kind of just sort of like a rule of thumb.
Yeah, I know, but again, no one's ever spending the punt that you would have to actually take to get that over the line, and actually for a film to earn money after spending $1 billion on it is nuts. 600 million, that's where lessons are learned.
Yes,
But to spend $1 billion on something like Avatar, oh God, do you really need to? Like, that's the real question. Do you actually need to? It's not like these things are getting popcorn buckets.
they are.
Oh, is it?
Blue popcorn buckets.
looks like fish.
They do. But the film premise, I mean, the first one, I mean, you mentioned earlier that they're quite simple stories. It does feel very much a kind of anti-capitalistic approach from James Cameron, I suppose, from the off, where it's basically like these awful military people are trying to like destroy humanity, not humanity, destroy Pandora for their own gains. He's always been quite anti-establishment like that. Do you think it's really that much of a simple premise, though?
It's Pocahontas.
I suppose.
No, it's not. I
But
suppose
but
that is the massive critique of
I
Avatar.
always feel like you could break down so many films that simply.
But that's why I say that it's a simple premise. It's a very simple story. It's not anything. It's about invaders and what that means to the territory and stuff like that. Like it's not hugely. I didn't think it was massively complicated. To the point where I'm a bit like, are the sequels? Because I have not seen any of the ones after the first Avatar.
Oh, you haven't?
No. So is the story now just post Avatar 1? Is it just the Pandora world, or are they still fighting?
So every film is essentially about the creatures on Pandora fighting against Earth for their world, basically, and their
different
resources.
Perspectives, or is this just every single time Earth tries to attack?
Yes, but it's a different part of Pandora. So the first film is about it's essentially the forest people, and then The Way of Water is about the water people, and I'm assuming the new film is about fiery people.
Volcano people.
I think this is more. It's going to be more airborne fighting because we've had the perspective of like the land, we've had the sea, and now we might get the air. I think it's kind of.
So what's 4 and 5 then?
I don't know. I think that's the point. I think The Way of Water and Fire and Ash are going to be much more like direct sequels. They're going to be much more like sort of like one big thing together. First one was kind of like an origin story. And then the fourth and fifth film, not sure, we won't know until probably the end of Fire and Ash. But I don't actually think James Cameron will direct the next two films because he's got other projects. I believe he's adapting a novel about the only survivor of the Hiroshima-Nagasaki nuclear bomb attacks. And I believe he's got something else in the pipeline. But he's also getting on a bit. So I think, I think he likes the world of Avatar and all the toys you can kind of play with in that world. But I think maybe he wants to do some more grounded stuff before he gets too old.
So do you reckon then the Avatar franchise, shall we say, do you reckon it will survive past this one then, if James Cameron has nothing more to do with it?
It's very hard to say. I think after The Way of Water, there was like, well, I mean, the possibilities are endless, but it is kind of all down to him.
Okay.
But I suppose that's the real test of like Disney and 20th Century Studios and what direction they want to go down. I'd be very intrigued what they actually think of these films in terms of like a story. Because it is weird how such a successful film series has very little cultural adulation. You don't have anyone who like remembers these characters. If you go into a Smith's toy store, you will not see Avatar toys.
Like that's the crazy thing. Like when you consider how much money Avatar made, compare it to Marvel. Avatar has a land at Disney World, but no one will tell you about it. It's not like it's not like they're trying to advertise that to you on TV. They're leading with all their Marvel stuff. Advertised. Oh yes.
There you go.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, we're going to get so many puns into this episode.
God, I don't know where to even go. Yeah, no, Marvel's obviously doing like incredibly well. They're using that. It's front and center of all their marketing campaigns. It's front and center of what they do. There is an Avatar land.
Yeah, it's almost like, is James Cameron, is he just like
I think he's
manipulating the box office?
I think James Cameron's a witch. I think somehow he's generated money without fame.
I mean, it is incredible how his last 3 films have all made an incredible amount of money. Like, is it 8 billion? 6, 7 billion?
Oh, yeah.
Titanic. That's and mad. Then Avatar 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But they're always intriguing. But as I say, they don't really have a lot of. They're like it's a spectacular watch. Avatar, like no matter what you think of the story, it's an amazing kind of unique experience. But I think it washes over a lot of people to the point where no one remembers what actually happens in these films.
No one ever recommends it. No one's ever coming up
Now,
to me and being like, "Have you seen Avatar yet?"
I like them, but I would never rate them particularly high in like a James Cameron filmography. They're not remotely bad films. They're incredibly ambitious, but I think for what you kind of see, it doesn't quite justify like just the money involved. I suppose that's the most interesting aspect of it. But speaking of the director's most recent film, should we go back to the beginning?
Let's go back. The way back.
We're going to deep dive.
Let's do it.
See what I did there?
Oh, it's not even called that anymore.
No, it's deep dive.
Oh,
James Cameron likes
I thought you were doing a throwback to the old title for this podcast.
No. This is the first time we can use the deep dive for an
diving,
actual.
yes, I see. Don't hit that iceberg on the way down.
I don't think I mentioned an iceberg in this actually.
I
We'll
did.
have to mention an iceberg in this podcast.
Absolutely.
Anyway, James Cameron, born in Ontario, Canada. James Cameron moved with his family to California as a teenager. And while not showing much interest in film at this stage, he did enjoy building things that, quote, went up in the air and into the deep. End of quote. It's another deep dive comparison there.
Okay.
It kind of sums up his career. Anyway, after working odd jobs as a lorry driver and high school janitor, what do we call janitors in this country? Is it still caretakers?
Yeah.
Caretakers. Because I've said lorry driver, and that's obviously very British. But then I couldn't think of.
Just a janitor. No, yeah, caretaker.
Yeah,
I'd say
caretaker.
caretaker at school.
Yeah, after working odd jobs as a lorry driver and high school caretaker, Cameron was inspired to become a filmmaker after watching Star Wars.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being in a world in which you just go, "Oh, I really like that film. I'm going to be a director." Like, you couldn't do that now.
Yes, you could.
You definitely couldn't.
Anyone could do that now. Directing's easy now. We've all got cameras on our phones. He didn't have that.
Absolutely, but I mean, we also don't get opportunities to Piranha 2, like just from walking off the
if
street.
you-
I wouldn't get a
hang
chance
on.
to direct like Shang-Chi 2, would I?
Well, you got. Yeah, what is this? What was that echo?
That's my tea.
That was the iceberg.
It's the iceberg.
Oh, do you know what? That would have been a brilliant thing where we actually do this podcast on a sinking ship.
Yeah, that would have been fantastic.
We should do
That would
that.
have been so much fun. I mean, you say that like we're not already on one.
Get the lifeboats ready. Women and children first. I'll be the kid. You can be the woman.
I'll be the violinist. We play as we go down.
I don't think it was that upbeat in the film. Anyway, upon entering the film industry, Cameron worked his way up the ladder, working for Roger Corman before becoming the art director for John Carpenter's Escape from New York. Now, I watched Escape from New York in the build-up for this podcast, and my God, it looks good.
Okay.
He basically does the plane when Snake Plissken is landing in New York, which I still think is one of the best sort of like, whatever you want to call it, like film sequences in the last like 40 years.
Okay.
It looks so good. And he basically does all the painting for like New York.
Okay. Cool.
So it was like his first big kind of like foray into the mainstream, I suppose. Cameron's first job as a director was the critical and commercial flop Piranha 2, The Spawning. Have you seen any of the Piranha films?
I saw.
They
Was it
rebooted
Piranha
it.
Double D?
Yeah, they rebooted
That
it in
one.
the 2010s.
Yep.
A film he has since disowned. Cameron's next project was directing The Terminator, a low-budget science fiction film starring Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, which has since become iconic. Cameron's next foray into iconic territory was Aliens, the sequel to Ridley Scott's Alien, which further cemented Cameron as a skilled, albeit temperamental director, which we'll get into. After making the well-received The Abyss, Cameron returned to the world of The Terminator with Terminator 2, Judgment Day, a film many consider to be the greatest sequel and action film of all time. Reteaming yet again with Schwarzenegger with the action comedy True Lies, Cameron embarked on his most ambitious project yet, the period drama and tragedy film Titanic. Though a troubled production, Titanic was an enormous hit. The film became the first film ever to make $1 billion and won numerous Oscars, including the Best Director for Cameron. Focusing on deep sea diving, I can't say that anymore without thinking of the South Park song, and making documentaries, Cameron took a decade-long break from directing before returning with Avatar. The film was another financial milestone and remains the highest-grossing film of all time. Another prolonged break occurred before Cameron returned to the world of Pandora with Avatar: The Way of Water. Though reviews were mildly positive, the film was again a huge success at the box office. The success of this film meant 3 films in the top 4 of all time have been made by James Cameron. Will Fire and Ash prove to be as successful as those that came before?
You're a bit of a super fan of this young man, aren't you?
I do admire him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably. I mean, Terminator 2 and Aliens is probably my favourite films of all time.
Okay.
So I suppose he's fairly high in my estimation.
Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to flip this on the head a little bit, because normally Sam is our intrepid host on the One Credit After Another podcast, but I thought, actually, Sam, you know a little bit more about James Cameron than I do.
I'll go in the hot seat.
I'm just a fan of James Cameron, but to be honest, I haven't really thought about his career in terms of where it would go, what it would do, and its impact, and so on and so forth. I like James Cameron, but Sam likes him more, so it's only fair, I think, in this instance, that we flip it around, and we let Sam take the hot seat for this one. So, you've already mentioned what the lowest grossing James Cameron movie is. What was that?
Well, it falls back into the territory if we're going to count Piranha 2: The Spawning, which I do, because this is a podcast called One Credit After Another. We have to follow the credit code.
Yes.
And he is credited as the director of Piranha 2: The Spawning.
Absolutely.
So this is his lowest grossing film.
What would be his lowest grossing film then if we didn't count Piranha? Because that's not written down.
Well, it's $140,000 that Piranha 2: The Spawning made.
Oh dear.
And I believe the next one would be The Terminator, which still made an impressive, I think it was something like 60 million from like a $2.5 million budget.
Okay.
So The Terminator is really impressive because he was, I mean, it is possibly the most impressive film ever made on a limited budget. Not that it was nothing, it still had millions tied to it, but very, very hard film to make. He had to break so many rules making this film. Like driving at night, he basically had to do illegally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
like actual laws
It was a bit like William Friedkin and The French Connection, where it's like, who cares? You're taking a massive chance with someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that kind of worked out brilliantly. Okay. And James Cameron's very good at making stars. He's a bit like Tarantino in the sense that basically everyone who appears in his films was not particularly well known.
Well, except for everyone in Avatar.
What do you mean?
What's his name?
No one knew Sam Worthington.
No one does still.
Oh, that's slightly harsh.
Is it?
But like, if you look at Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton was somewhat known, but not like huge. Obviously, Sigourney Weaver's an exception because it's a sequel to Alien and she was the star of Alien. I don't think Ed Harris was massively well known, like a huge star until The Abyss. I might be wrong there.
Okay.
But yeah, and he has a very interesting thing where he kind of gains loyalty from like the same. Basically, with Cameron, you either adore working with him or you despise it.
Okay.
So like Bill Paxton, which we'll talk about later, has appeared in many of his films. Kate Winslet's back, Sigourney Weaver's back for Avatar. So he gains kind of like a lot of loyalty, but at the same time, people just tend to hate him.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, was basically made by him.
Yep.
As a film star, obviously, he was very well known as a bodybuilder.
So who did you fall out with then?
Who did you fall out with? Everybody. Okay. I don't know. Are we going to talk about the temper tantrums now, or should we discuss his filmography?
Let's do the rest of the filmography. So highest, obviously we mentioned highest grossing film is Avatar, 2.9 billion.
Only 2.9 billion.
Shocking amount of cash. Although I did hear that Avengers Endgame is getting re-released next year, so we could find Avatar gets released again.
I thought you were going to bring that up during the deep dive, where Avengers Endgame, actually was the highest grossing film of all time,
and then they released Avatar 1.
James Cameron, because he's an egomaniac.
Well, I don't know if you can say that. I mean, technically, he did have an Avatar on the horizon, so a re-release of Avatar 1, I think, was always going to be on the cards, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we're going to get the same thing. Going to get the same thing again. Endgame's going to get released. Arguably, it's the best Marvel film that's been released since Endgame, ironically. And we might see people go back to the cinema, and we might find it gets a little bit topped. It all depends whether or not it gets released in all territories, though. But I think it's going to be an interesting watch. But as well, what we do with his back catalogue is, what other stuff has he been in, Sam?
What, James Cameron?
Well, not been in. What
Well,
other stuff has he
well,
directed?
so obviously he made as I said, the Terminator sort of launched him as a sort of very dependable, low budget filmmaker, and then Aliens. He did quite a few things before that. Do you know he wrote Rocky? Not Rocky. Do you know
Rambo.
he wrote Rambo?
Yeah.
And that was a very like troubled.
Was it Rambo or Rambo 2?
I believe it was Rambo 2.
Because I know he's definitely down as also being consequently the writer of all the video games. Basically,
Really?
any of these films, he's down as a writer of all the video game spin-offs of it.
Okay.
So Jim Cameron has credits both as like the writer of Terminator, but then the video game Terminator, Terminator 2, True Lies. He's down as the writer of these video games, but he's also down as the writer for Rambo 2, which is weird.
Yes, and he also fell out with Sylvester Stallone basically
did.
throughout the entire production.
Of course he did.
And then he made Aliens, which is a fascinating story in itself, in the sense of how he wrote the scripts before he basically was just hired to write the script, and then eventually the success of the Terminator got him to be the director, and then the film was made in England, but everyone on the set hated him because he had a very American. He's Canadian really, but he had a very American work ethic, and the British were just like, no. We have tea breaks, which is just a hilarious story. The original actor who was supposed to play Dwayne Hicks was basically fired for taking cocaine. So James Cameron was like, you're gone. And,
I mean, that's fair.
And then obviously Aliens became just one of the greatest films ever made, and still is. Well, it looks incredible to this very day. And then he made The Abyss, which was another really ambitious project. And then that also had an incredible amount of issues in the production, to the point where like Ed Harris nearly had like a nervous breakdown, and then he just carried on there with Terminator 2, which was an incredible moment for like CGI. Basically, it was like the first. I mean, The Abyss obviously has CGI in it, but I mean, in 2 years, it looked like it evolved by like 30. And then, yeah, Terminator 2, obviously one of the greatest again sequels of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of started to take a lot sort of a different direction. He went a bit lighter with True Lies, which is a romantic action comedy, which we've talked about previously with Jamie Lee Curtis. And then his most sort of epic and troubled film in Titanic, which I adore, still love it to this day.
Yeah, I love Titanic.
But it's not, well, is it similar to Avatar, where it has a lot of detractors, would you say?
No, I think there's a lot more fondness for Titanic, because I think people remember the cinema experience of Titanic.
Yeah.
Just cues out of the ear. And
And then obviously Kate Winslet and DiCaprio have probably the most famous
they have some of the best chemistry on
screen.
Yeah.
And then obviously he went on his big break before the Avatar films.
Yeah.
But did do little projects along the way, like Strange Days, and I think he produced a Soderbergh film with Clooney, and did a TV show that made Jessica Alba very famous.
What was that? No,
I
it wasn't Alias, was it?
No, I can't actually remember what it was called, because it was cancelled after like 2 seasons.
Okay, so then in terms of like looking at the Empire review scores, this is actually quite different to a normal one. What is his highest rated film, do you reckon, from Empire?
Dark Angel.
Okay.
Never heard of it until last week.
Okay.
Highest rated film on
according to Empire.
According to Empire.
Well, just to put it into context, there are 6 highest grossing movies that all have the same, highest scored movies from Empire.
Well, they're all
5 stars.
They're basically all 5 stars, bar
Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, Titanic, and Avatar are all 5 stars. Oh, and Avatar: Way of the Water is 5 stars. Stuff that aren't 5 stars is The Abyss and True Lies.
But they're 4 stars, aren't they?
4 stars.
So there's no films that have got like even like a medium rating. They're all like.
Well, Piranha.
Well, Piranha was hard to find, because that was like I think I put it down in the review page that it was like just called a turkey.
True. The thing is, though, what I find that's interesting about James Cameron is he is a more inconsistent writer than he is director when he's doing the double bubble. So the stuff when he's gone away and he's written his own, he's written something either for somebody else, or he's just had a punt at kind of writing something. It is a bit more hit and miss. So as you mentioned, you got Rambo: First Blood 2, Part 2, which is a bit miss. He also did Strange Days for his wife at the time, Catherine Bigelow.
No, they were
separated
by that point.
Okay, apologies.
He was with Linda Hamilton, I think.
Okay.
At that point.
And then his recent stuff is he's kind of down. He's credited, let's say, as a writer on things like Alita: Battle Angel, Terminator: Dark Fate, Terminator Genesis. But I'm not sure if that's just going to be characters. I think that's probably just characters.
The thing is that Terminator Genesis do you remember the promotion he did where he was like, it was one of the greatest bullshit artist moments I've ever seen.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's not exactly like you could hold those critics against him, but it shows a bit of a chink in his armor, I think, when it comes to his writing and a bit of inconsistency.
I think he has always had detractors for writing romantic dialogue.
Okay.
He's a brilliant structure of worlds in his scripts. I mean, you only have to look as far as the opening to basically all the Terminator films.
Yeah.
Well, the first two in particular, to know that he's a really good visual storyteller.
Yeah.
But I think with the romantic side, it's always better when it's not like really obvious. Like weirdly,
What do you mean? If you turn around and ask me, I would allow you to draw me like one of your French girls.
Well, Titanic's probably the biggest victim of this this conversation. But even like, I think the best on screen. Well, obviously there is Titanic, so it's very hard to talk about this with Titanic. But I always think Ripley and Hicks's chemistry in Aliens is brilliant because it's very subtle. It's not like obvious that they like are really romantically in love with each other.
I mean, is this something that you can credit James Cameron with?
Yeah.
Can you? Or is it more casting? And is it more like, I mean, if you look at the script and the conversations that they have, yeah, all right, because he's writing that stuff. But actual chemistry comes down to casting.
I think that's down to. I mean, that's a different thing in every film, really.
And he would probably, to be honest, he probably would have had final go ahead in a lot of casting.
But like Sarah Connor and Carl Reese in The Terminator. Their chemistry is there, but when they talk to each other, it's a bit up and down.
Well, that's what I mean. It's clearly not.
But then, I mean, he is a PTSD-ridden soldier from the future, and she's supposed to be like a teenage, terrified, like woman, basically.
Okay.
So in terms of them being like talking to each other normally, I suppose that's a bit pushing. But yeah, Titanic's like the biggest. Like, there's a lot here where I think his writing gets stretched. Mm-hmm. But it's never jarring, I think. Okay. There's moments where you can say it's jarring. But I think he's a brilliant... One of the things he's always been is that he's an incredibly detailed, structural artist.
Yeah.
In the sense of being a film director and a writer.
Oh, yeah, his films are always pretty. They're pretty. They're interesting to look at.
Yeah.
And they're very well choreographed.
Yeah. And there's very little fat.
Yeah.
Particularly in his earlier films. I mean, obviously, Avatar... Even Titanic, there's probably a bit too much going on at times.
I was going to say, at 3 hours and 15 minutes, the new one is probably going to have a little bit around the belly.
But I think all his 80s films are like cut really well.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of reflection and questions on previous films in his career, we've done best and worst. What do you reckon some of his career trends?
I could get really lost here. What would you say yours are? Like, just... being a fan of James Cameron?
I mean, he's consistently good within sci-fi worlds. I think you mentioned it about him being able to build things. I even think there are some interesting ideas within Alita, Battle Angel. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on there that I think is quite interesting. One of my favourite films of all time is Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's just no ends, ifs or buts. And I know even critically, Terminator 1 is a better movie. But Terminator 2 just, whenever it's on, I'll put it on. I'll quote it. It's phenomenal, and it's had an impact in the same way that I would probably say Aliens had an impact for you. So there's definitely those about it. Titanic was something I came to later in life because I was just the wrong age. It just didn't click with me in 98. 7. So it didn't really click at that time. So I picked it up a bit later. And it was when I was going through my DiCaprio phase, because like you are with Cameron, I am with DiCaprio.
Well, I'll put it out there now. I love James Cameron, but I'm not like in love with him.
Oh, you are?
No.
Sam, I've known you for a long time now. You like the guy a lot. It's okay. You're allowed to say it.
He made Terminator and Aliens. What do you want from me?
No, Terminator 2 is good.
I would say in terms of career trends that are quite clear in the open, he's done a lot for strong female characters, for example.
Okay.
yeah, I would say. I mean, obviously Ripley was already established in Ridley Scott's Alien, but Sarah Connor is an iconic female character. Well, I mean, I think Ripley goes on up another level under him in Aliens. You've also got Alicia.
True Lies isn't the best example of that though.
It is eventually, but in the beginning, very choppy.
Yeah. There's problems with that now.
She eventually, stands on her own 2 feet.
When I was rewatching that, a few weeks ago for the for Jamie Lee Curtis episode, and I remember just watching about halfway through the film. I remember sitting there thinking, "Wow, this is problematic now. Wow, this is getting worse." And then it all culminates in that scene with Schwarzenegger in the hotel room, and I was like, "Oh, okay. This guy had his hands on Ripley at some point. He had his hands, on, like you just said, on Sarah Connor. What is he doing when he's got a Jamie Lee Curtis role? What's he playing at?" Yeah,
it's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one. Yeah,
but I mean, even Zoe Saldana.
Yeah,
like I think she's a really good character in Avatar.
Okay.
I mean, no one really remembers it, but it's a really good performance.
Yeah.
But I think another career trend is he always he's a bit like George Lucas, where technology is almost as important to.
Well, he almost invents technology for each of his movies.
Yes.
I mean, the big thing even for apparently, what was the last one? Way of the Water.
The Way of Water.
Yeah, apparently they created new tech for water.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the water is computerized.
Yeah, and it's they spend years developing that tech before he even attempts to make the movie.
Yeah.
So you got to admire him for that, really.
Yeah.
Like he's really pushing the industry forward.
But from the beginning, with like obviously the Terminator and the fact that he used puppetry for certain scenes with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he used stop motion for when you see the endoskeleton, all the way to Aliens with the Queen still looks unbelievably good. And then the Abyss, you get into the world of computer animation, computerized imagery. And it's very much part and parcel of his filmography of like sort of taking risks and trying to like, what's the word? Be as ambitious as you possibly can, like with every film.
Yeah.
And having a horrible temperament in most films, which can weirdly brings out the best in
just bullies
performances.
People. Just bully him.
Well, this is the thing. Like, it is a really good debate. Is he a bully? I don't know whether you wanted to get into this now, but it's one of those tricky things where it's like a lot of people will probably think of him as a bully, but Bill Paxton just thought he was a brilliant perfectionist.
Okay.
So it's very hard. It's one of those where it's like, well, some people think he was a dickhead, but some people think he's a genius.
Okay. But do you think the filmmaker's career lives up to Guy Ritchie's?
Yes, I do.
I'd say no. Guy Ritchie is up there, man.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
I've just become a mega fan.
Did you take the same...
This is what happens when you're in the hosting position. You just all of a sudden take up the mantle of being Guy Ritchie's number one fan.
Devil's advocate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I respect Bill Paxton. I respect Guy Ritchie's career, but I don't think that he has made a film as good as even True Lies. Let alone... Well, that might be a bit harsh. He's never made a film as good as The Abyss. I don't even think he would know how to make a film like The Abyss.
Yeah, there's really not anything on that.
But going back to career trends, James Cameron is like a crazy, like going back to him being a bully and a temperamental. He's a crazy perfectionist and puts a lot of detail into everything he does, which kind of separates him. I don't think Guy Ritchie has ever done anything like that.
Okay, fair. I mean, you mentioned it already. Most collaborated person, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, yeah, he did The Terminator, Aliens. True Lies and Titanic. And he was going to do Avatar, The Way of Water, I think.
I mean, technically, you could say that he's also involved in the documentaries that he did. He narrates one of the documentaries, isn't he? The Titanic one?
Have you seen the documentary? Do you know he told James Cameron about 9/11?
No, and you mentioned this to me the other week.
And it was all filmed. And it was just like, yeah.
Is he in that documentary then?
He must be, yeah. So James Cameron is coming out of the sub. His name is James Cameron, Explorer of the Seas. And then Bill Paxton just says, Jim, there's been 2 planes that have hit the World Trade Center. And they like filmed the whole reaction. It was like bizarre. But yeah, I think he would have been in more stuff, but obviously he tragically died.
If they were making a film about James Cameron, who would play him?
Well, I think James Cameron would probably be high on the list. He has done
What,
acting
James Cameron
before.
playing James Cameron?
Well, he's already done it.
Oh, okay.
He did it in Entourage. He played himself.
Oh, well.
Do you know what he was going to direct in Entourage? You'll love this.
Oh, no.
Take a wild guess.
Not the opening credits.
No. Sorry. So in the
His character's directing something.
his
okay.
character is directing a film starring.
Oh, God, not like Iron Man or something like that.
Close.
No.
Well, it was considered a joke back then, but Aquaman.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a whole season about how the main character in Entourage is going to be in a film, Aquaman, with James Cameron. And James Cameron's in like 4 episodes.
Oh, okay.
So I would say James Cameron, but if we're going to push it, William H. Macy.
Oh, that's just that's a cop-out.
Why is that a cop-out?
Because we literally just said about William H. Macy. Do you reckon he could do
Not on this
a Jim
podcast.
Cameron? I reckon a Ryan Reynolds.
No, Ryan Reynolds. Well, again, it goes into the thing of, are we talking about them now or when they were in their pomp?
Or I would quite like to see, say, someone like Benedict Cumberbatch do it.
I
We've
could see.
seen Fassbender do.
I can see Benedict Cumberbatch
Yeah.
playing James Cameron.
Yeah, because we've seen Fassbender do
Fassbender would be great.
Fassbender
Steve Jobs.
and Steve Jobs, yeah, which was I thought was great with Kate Winslet.
Ryan
So
Go-
actually,
Ri-
you get Kate Winslet in it, and
going back to Ryan Gosling, he is Canadian.
well, I mean, we weren't talking about Ryan Gosling, but okay,
Yeah.
I said Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, you said Ryan Gosling
No,
before.
I didn't. Literally didn't. One moment did I say? I said Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, sorry, Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Also Canadian.
Also Canadian, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I would say James Cameron. As
of
my- as-
his
as my answer.
filmography, are there any of his movies that you think another filmmaker would have done a better job at?
I have a very controversial opinion.
Okay.
I think that Christopher Nolan would have made a brilliant Titanic film.
Okay. Fair.
Because of Dunkirk. Because the things with Titanic, the main thing I love about it is the ship
Yeah.
and how the ship is filmed and put together. Like just the stuff with the propellers and the engine. All this, like the whole sequence when the Titanic is about to hit the iceberg and they try to shut off the left and middle propeller to try and turn is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you put Nolan in that situation, I think James Cameron does a very good job, but I would love to see Nolan's version of that because of seeing Dunkirk.
Yeah. I would say that there would be a very, not similar, but there would be a criticism against Nolan's romantic comedy
Well,
side. Well, not romantic comedy, but romantic drama side of things.
Yes.
Because he's also been labelled as quite a cold filmmaker in
Yes.
terms of characters and chemistry. Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. I still think that there will probably be better people that could do True Lies.
Okay.
But I don't think it's necessarily a bad film, but I think there's better chemistry in other movies.
True Lies is the weird black sheep of his filmography for me.
Yeah.
Where it's so vastly different from anything else.
Yeah.
It is like a farcical comedy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of meant to be. Bill Paxton's great in that film too. Should have been in it more. That's a good shout. Yeah, I would say out of all of them, it has the least James Cameron's like stamp.
Like, I wonder whether or not you would have got something really interesting out of, say, you're looking at buddy cop, like kind of duos and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, like a Shane Black or someone like that, I think could have done quite interesting with it.
Shane Black doing the Jamie Lee Curtis stuff.
Oh, that's true.
He would have done.
He would have that.
He would have done some weird.
I just
shit.
think in terms of just like the chemistry, though, like if you just focused on the repertoire and the
Can you imagine the Ferrelli brothers making True Lies?
God.
I'm just trying to think of the contempt of the time,
Yeah.
like '94. God, don't know. It's just it's a weird film. I really don't know who could, to be honest. But I would go with Nolan doing Titanic.
You know what? I actually think I would probably see a Catherine Bigelow version of that.
Yes,
Catherine Bigelow's Two Lies, I think, would be a good movie.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be intrigued what James Cameron's Strange Days would have been like.
Well, you never know.
We'll never know.
Never know. Do you reckon that he would have been able to make Batman and Robin better than Joel Schumacher?
No. I don't know how he would have.
I think he would have made Batman and Robin too good.
Yeah, because when we talk about Batman and Robin, we have to take into account the script.
But Schwarzenegger's in it.
And Schwarzenegger's in it.
Yeah.
So the cheese.
And I think there would have been a really cool like ice tower or ice palace for Freeze. It wouldn't look too good. It would have looked too good.
But with Batman and Robin, we are talking about like the script doesn't change.
No.
So that's why Joel Schumacher is perfect, because it's such cheese.
Yeah.
That someone like him is perfect for it. Can James Cameron work with this script?
Ooh.
I'm going to go no.
Yeah, but I think James Cameron would have wanted to be writer on it as well. So it would have been a completely different movie.
It would have been too... Not that it would have... I don't know. I suppose if James Cameron was to ever make a comic book film, it would have been in this time.
It would have been Aquaman.
Because he would never... Yeah, he would never have been able to do superhero films in the 2000s. There was a lot of rumours he was going to do Spider-Man. That was his original... I think that after Titanic, that was what he was actually going to do.
Wow.
But then it changed studios, I think. I think it was when Marvel was sold to... or Spider-Man was sold to Sony.
Okay.
So I think Cameron bailed from that because he was in his tub looking at the Titanic.
He just couldn't keep up with the press.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, Joel Schumacher will be the one.
Yeah. So I suppose then let's talk about Jim Cameron's future.
Well,
What other films do you reckon he could work in? I mean, aside from the fact that he's done the art direction stuff, and obviously he would probably do really well as the head of a CGI company. What other roles do you reckon he could be at? Key grip?
Well, TV's done.
Yeah.
So I can't see him going back into that, because I think he's probably, in his egomaniac head, too big for television.
I mean, he has, weirdly though, he did mention that if he doesn't get to make any more Avatar, or nobody gets to make any more Avatar, he has mentioned about writing a book or a graphic novel that does the rest of the story. So is that another medium? His next medium? Because he can do the art, he can do all of these things.
I mean, he's got some, as I mentioned earlier, some films coming out or coming up. It's hard to say. It's hard to really say when you're in your 70s and you're making these like massive films, where do you go?
Yeah.
I suppose I could potentially say, stepping on another category involving AI, he goes down an AI route. Because again, like George Lucas, they're very like, we're following the technology and how I can incorporate this into my films. And he's absolutely the kind of person who would do that.
Yeah, but he's been asked about the AI stuff, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, he obviously made Terminator, which is a massively, like, almost prophetic AI movie, I suppose. But he would absolutely work with AI, I think.
Unlikely collaborators.
Paul Dano. Unlikely collaborators.
I wonder if he would ever make a movie with Spielberg as producer. I think that's probably quite unlikely.
I don't think that will happen. That's a very good question, though.
Yeah, I wonder whether or not Jim Cameron is on a Jim Cameron boat by himself.
Yes. Well, he doesn't... I mean, who in terms of the filmmaking side, who is the biggest collaborator that he's had? Catherine Bigelow?
Probably.
And they're obviously married.
Yeah.
John Landau, but he's passed away. And he was a very big producer back in the day. Sylvester Stallone. Unlikely collaboration, Sylvester Stallone. I would love him to do something with Arnie again.
Okay.
That would be like, I don't know what they would do.
Yeah. Terminator 9.
I'll tell you what I would like, though. I would like James Cameron to direct a Predator film.
Okay. Be intriguing.
Because that would be... Oh, can you imagine that? Just complete the hat trick.
And then I suppose the last thing before we wrap up and we do the final discussion on his latest film, could they make a film set in Tahiti or Yemen?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I think...
He makes his own worlds.
Well, I was going to say he makes his own worlds, and obviously he's doing, supposedly, this film in Japan. I suppose... No, I think it's just too remote. He doesn't... Like, put it this way, James Cameron could never make a film like Castaway.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Like, he doesn't have, like, the restraint
Yeah.
of, like, Zemeckis and Tom Hanks.
Okay.
That's another unlikely collaboration. Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to say no.
Okay.
What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I think it actually comes back to what I was saying before. Is that like he builds worlds? He literally builds worlds. If he goes to say someone like Tahiti or Yemen, I think he's going to be very quick to put skyscrapers in it and
Yeah.
Cityscapes,
Terminators.
and all of that stuff.
Well, to be fair,
forests and all that jazz.
The opening of Judgment Day, it could be Tahiti or Yemen. We don't know. We don't know.
But a whole film set there?
It's probably Los Angeles.
Yeah,
but
it's not
we
like
don't
salmon
know.
fishing. It's not like he's going to film salmon fishing.
We don't know
is
if the Titanic didn't go by Tahiti or Yemen.
he? You just saw it left Ireland. It had to do something, but even then he put loads of buildings in it.
Did they leave? Yeah. Ireland was Ireland the last
Or was
place?
it Liverpool?
No, it's France. Well, no, it left. It was registered in Belfast. No, it was made in Belfast, registered in Liverpool, and then it had its maiden voyage from Southampton to France, and then left France. But the last land the Titanic saw was Ireland, because obviously it was going through towards the Atlantic to New York.
Depends. The iceberg is technically structure.
That's not land. That's ice.
It was land when it was connected to the land.
It was never connected to the land.
I mean, you don't know that.
I don't know that, to be fair.
Exactly. Just saying. Final discussions about his latest film. So, as we've mentioned, James Cameron is out with Fire and Ash, Avatar, Fire and Ash, very, very soon. What do you think the public perception of this film is going to be?
Well, we've kind of already established that in the general sense that Avatar isn't like a
No, I think it has a
cultural-
broad appeal, but what do you reckon the public perception of this is going to be? It's the third in a trilogy.
It'll be intrigue because it's an event film.
Yep.
No matter what it kind of is as a story,
Mm-hmm.
it is an event film. So it will get bums on seats. I think people will be turned off by the 3D because everyone hates it. Oh, I never mentioned that actually as a trend. He will
it's very 3D.
He will live on that 3D island with Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Until the day he dies, and no one will join him.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think there'll be intrigue, but I would be amazed by March if anyone remembers the film.
Yep, absolutely. Do you think Disney will hold on to it? Do you reckon they'll try and keep it alive, or do you reckon they haven't seen franchise? Do you reckon, as we mentioned earlier in this podcast, it has franchise potential because obviously there's Avatar 2, Avatar 3. It makes a lot of money, but does it make brand potential for Disney?
No.
Do you reckon
It's too weird.
Do you reckon they will greenlight a fourth and fifth? Because it only makes money for them at the box office.
Yes. I think based on just how Hollywood works, if it makes money at the box office, they will make it until it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. True. But Disney's a very different beast. Disney need it to make money outside of the box office. So can you sell dolls? Can you sell figures? Can you make lands of it in theme parks? Can you do all of these other things to it? And that seems to be weirdly an only Disney problem, because in the way that Netflix only deals in viewership and eyes on screen, Disney deals in much, much, much broader. Can you make a product out of this?
This will never happen, but let's say James Cameron, this is the last film that he credits himself with involving Avatar, and then Disney attempt to make it a bit more family friendly, because the world of Avatar has, again, it has a lot of lore and structure to it, and you could make something out of it, but I can't see it really. Yeah. It has potential to do that with Disney, but I can't see it because James Cameron probably won't allow it.
Mm-hmm. I suppose last question then is, do you think this is going to become the highest grossing movie of all time?
I think it possibly could be.
Okay.
Because the previous one made incredible amount of money.
$500 million, well, more than $500 million off of the first Avatar though.
Yeah.
Which is no small change. That's not like a last couple of weekends over the finish line kind of money.
Well, Avatar 2 came out in 2022. Did it come out at the same time as Top Gun Maverick?
No, Top Gun Maverick came out in the summer.
Was it the summer? I'm just trying to think of I think
people would have made space for Avatar.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's no real big competition for this, is there?
This year?
Yeah.
No. The only thing that might give it a little bit of a pace will be Wicked 2.
Oh, Wicked. Oh, that's true.
Because that's still going to have
That's
legs.
going to make a lot of
and that's
money.
making a lot of money.
And Zootopia 2, obviously, is on its way to become the highest grossing film of all time.
Zootopia is making an insane amount of cash. I mean, that is bank, right? That's apparently it's the fourth greatest opening of all time for any movie. It's the highest grossing animated opening of all time.
Wow. Well, this film has to make 4 billion, basically, doesn't it?
What? Zootropolis 2?
Oh no. Is it Zootropolis or Zootopia?
Zootopia in the UK, Zootropolis in the US.
Oh, I don't think I ever knew that. Yeah, so Avatar 3 has to make 4 bit. Avatar 4 has to make. What Avatar are we on?
I have no idea.
This
anymore.
is the third one.
This is the third one.
Avatar 3 has to make 4 billion to beat Avatar 1. Is that right? Is it 3.9 billion it made?
No, 2.9 billion.
Oh, 2.9.
Yeah, holy
So
cow. If it made 2. Yeah, it is re-released. It made $1 billion.
No, I can't see it, but it'll be close. It'll definitely make 2.
I think it will make 2. I think it'll be like what it's done. The second one did. It all of a sudden crossed 2 billion, and everyone went, "Who cares?" Like it just kept making money.
Yeah, I think it will follow a very similar trend to the first 2.
Yeah,
I think, but I've heard the reviews are very good.
Okay,
based on one source.
Okay,
but what's your favourite James Cameron film?
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Well, in every aspect.
In every aspect, Terminator 2. Like it is up there as one of my greatest films.
Yeah,
it's up there with High Fidelity.
High Fidelity. These films. Terminator 2 and Aliens. They are, until my dying day, probably the most important films of my life.
Yeah,
I rewatch them every year, every other day. They're definitely my most rewatchable films. And then that's not even including Terminator 1, which I love, Titanic, which I love, and True Lies, which is good fun.
Cool. Well, there you have it. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of One Credit After Another. We want to hear your opinions on the career of the very great James Cameron.
The Explorer of the Seas.
Those who don't know him. Explorer of the Seas. What would you rank as his career highlight? Would you say it's Terminator 2, as I would? Would you say it's Piranha 2, like Sam would? Or would you say it's somewhere in between? Perhaps you got a favourite in True Lies. Who knows? But we would love to hear your opinions. Please let us know exactly what you think.
Do our listeners have a dying thirst to be the first of watching Avatar Fire and Ash?
Yeah, let us know if you're going to be in that queue.
Get it to the 4 billion.
Exactly. Get it to 4. Get it to 4. Goodbye, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.